So first, we just want to do a check-in on how this past week went, or anything that's coming up for you, or you want to share anything really. Just wanted to check in how week 2 went. Dan.
For me, the hardest part of this program is the meditation, because I'm very much of a in your head type person. So just trying to sit still for 5 minutes, let alone 10 minutes, let alone 15, so on and so forth. I find myself being able to hold a couple breaths with being present, and then I find my mind wandering. So I keep coming back to my breath just to come back to present, to center. But I mean, I'll admit I fail with meditating in the morning just because of some of the bullshit excuses I tell myself. But I'm more apt to meditate at nighttime, vice morning time. So, but again, it's just a story that I tell myself. You know, the reason why I don't. So no legitimate reason why.
Right. Well, and like it's not like a pass or fail thing either. You just have a lot of grace with yourself. I was traveling this past weekend and I didn't get one of the evening meditations. Like, okay, tomorrow I will. And I've even found like, I don't think Aaron's gonna get upset because he's not insecure, but like, the longer meditations, like maybe I can't sit for 15, but I sat for like 2 5 or 3 5-minute ones. Just getting in the time to sit still, I think is like the discipline and just putting in the practice. I always remember I think about Diane, she's like, just as long as you get it in, just start slow. And, this is a great program that it works you up, but jumping from like 10 to 15 and just being with what it is in the moment and not worrying about if you didn't do it or, So, anybody else?
Can I offer a little tip to make it easier to sit? So sometimes, so your mind is supposed to have thoughts. That's like the nature of the mind. So when you find yourself getting distracted, watch your relationship to that. So like if you think you're doing something wrong or you're not doing it well enough, that can build a lot of tension and anxiety. It can make sitting actually harder. So if instead when you realize that you've kind of gotten lost in the midst of thinking or whatever, just like make it like a celebration of sorts. Like, okay, cool, I'm waking up to that. Now I'm coming back. And so instead of building up all the tension of like, I'm not doing it right, that makes it like difficult to sit, right? So see about trying that. That way, in my experience, it kind of helps you be able to sit longer.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anybody else for this week? Meditation practice, tapping into your vitality.
So last week, my give up, I'm Heather, by the way. My give up was needing an escape and searching for an escape. I'm going through a difficult time right now, and I've learned about myself in the last few months through the Enneagram, if you don't know about it. I would love to nerd out with you guys. But one thing that I know about myself through that tool and through self-reflection is that it's often my fear that whatever I'm experiencing is going to last forever and that I have to get out. And when I was reading the story about the Buddha from this week and how he came home after 12 years and the response was, couldn't you have done this here? And he said, absolutely, I could have. I didn't need to go anywhere. I only thought that I did. And that just highlighted to me how much I robbed myself of my own vitality by choosing to like fear the future of this emotion rather than just saying like, I'm sad now and it's okay for me to be sad now and that doesn't mean it's going to last forever, but acknowledging it and sitting with it and then that actually restores so much light. It brings the darkness into light in my experience and then it's not scary anymore because I don't have to fear it robbing me of my vitality anymore. Ironically, when I look it in the face, it actually restores my vitality.
Thank you. It's so funny. I've had this book for 3 years where I went through the first program, and it's fun to see what I highlighted or wrote notes in last time. And so I got to the story about the monk that was like, oh, this meditation, can we do something other than breath? And then he dips him in the water and holds his head down. He's like, well, your breath was really interesting then, wasn't it? And it made me laugh out loud. And I had it highlighted from last time, and it still has this feeling of just like, yes, like that is that simplicity of going back to that and just being able to connect and grow from that and just kind of have a kick in the ass about just get with it. It's kind of nice. And it made me giggle because I was like, I remember laughing about this last time.
Interesting now. Awesome. Anybody else?
I've been going through a really rough time too, and a huge part of why I wanted to do this at all and kind of what vitality means to me is having something, whatever the quality is for each week or just being good overall. I'm a huge victim to like my circumstances being my source of happiness or sadness. So the huge part of this for me, especially with meditating and stuff, is trying to cultivate a warmth or happiness eventually that stays throughout whatever kind of life throws you and stuff. I think that's the biggest, what's been, it's definitely been happening from doing the same, at the very least doing the same thing. Something that makes you feel good every single day. So you can practice every day and stuff. It like gives you some stability and it brightens your day. So.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. All right, so we're actually going to go with partners. Did everybody get a chance to answer their excavation questions? Great. Okay, so you're going to get with a partner, and you're going to share on questions 1 through 4, and then we'll come back to the group. So I think you could probably do this in like 5 minutes each, right? Yeah, maybe somebody you don't always share with, or We'd love to hear from the whole group. Well, the audio is going to come, of course, but just starting on like question 1. So you guys want to share, what is my most meaningful creation of life? Is it my work, my family, myself? So if you want to share on that, bring it to life.
I'll work with you. That's always my go-to.
I know.
No one else is going to talk about. So I said my most meaningful creation is myself. I feel like for a long time I was what other people wanted to be. And so like when I turned 30, it was like everything became easier. Not really, but like I was more comfortable in who I am and that kind of thing. And I didn't care as much like what other people thought and those tapes that have been running my life since then, since prior to that. And so like, especially just coming straight out of teacher training, I'm doing things like that I never dreamed in my life I would do. Like today I did handstand. I was a no handstand and all that kind of stuff. So it is myself, because if I'm not good and I'm not happy and healthy and functioning, then I can't help other people, which is like my goal. Thank you.
Jessica, Jess. My most meaningful creation is definitely like moving to Nashville and this like life that I've created myself here. I guess this is like my 12th year here. I went to Belmont. But my parents, I went to the same high school as my parents, and we lived in the same town where my grandparents moved. And, you know, Hamilton, Ohio. And I went to this Catholic school. It was a really close-knit community. And I never really felt like it was close, but I didn't ever, and a lot of people loved me and supported me, but I just didn't really feel like I fit in. Like I wanted to do something different. And in high school and like being a teenager, those emotions of like, I don't fit in, it's just like so dramatic. So I knew I wanted to go somewhere else, but I didn't, and I had like a vision for myself of like finding somewhere where I do fit in and like something that I chose. But I didn't have like the full goal of what that was. And so it's kind of interesting to see now, like what's happened in this like community I found and like life I created for myself that has nothing to do with people I knew in first grade, you know, like, so it's very meaningful and very like, also I feel proud of myself and like a lot of courage it took to do that. So yes, Nashville.
We're gonna skip to the second one. Your most courageous act. So, you know, or it can be, you know, I love how you said it doesn't always mean heroism or, you know, courage to show up in like subtle ways in your life.
Sure, I'm Olivia. I'm gonna cry. So I broke up with my family this year, and it's really hard because I shared with Jess that my dad has cancer, and I feel a lot of guilt because I know he's gonna pass away, and I'm not potentially gonna be a part of his life, and he's hurt me so much that I just can't let it be in my life right now. So it's like a really odd feeling how I hate him and I love him at the exact same time. I love him so much, I don't want him to die. But partially that's selfish because I don't want him to die when I'm mad at him, because then I'm gonna be pissed when he dies and then I'm gonna have to deal with all that by myself afterwards. So I broke up with my dad and my sister this year, and if any of my friends from college or high school will tell you, like, I literally would stop doing stuff on the weekends to go spend time with my family. And so it was really hard to do that and to keep them from my life. And so I think it took a lot of energy and courage for me to do that because I had to do what was good for me and my mind and my soul. But also I struggle like every single day because I'm so scared he's gonna die. I'm not gonna be a part of his life. So that's it.
Thank you.
I would say most recently my most courageous act was staying and teaching. I started teaching first grade in New Orleans public schools and getting, you know, a desk thrown at me every day by a 6-year-old just like was very, you know, wore on me very quickly. And I was pretty sure by like the end of the first week that I was never going to do that again. But here I am in my 4th year, and the best thing I've ever done, because I know that's what my heart was made for, and I was blessed this year with like a very calm and non-violent class. So it was like a chance for me to take a breath and kind of realize, even though it takes some courage every day to wake up and go do that, it's definitely my purpose.
We're going to get down to number 4 and 5. So, what are the forces in my life that drain my energy, and whom do I resent, and how has this resentment affected me? We were talking about this, and because I think they go hand in hand. I was talking about maybe I don't have one big person I'm so resentful for, but there's all these like little resentments that come up, and I was just talking about like James and certain things he does, like I'll resent him for it, and it robs like the love and connection that I have with him when I see him, because I'm like holding that resentment, even if it's the smallest thing. But like, so it's really draining my energy and like my connection with him, and then I feel like shit because I'm like causing, you know, like out of my mind is like thinking of this, you know, whatever it is. But yeah, it's really just a drain in my energy and or my true connection with James. So when I see him, I'm not like I'm just so happy for you because I'm holding this resentment. So. That's kind of what it is for me. And I think it goes along with the vitality the whole week. You know, that's why this question is here. It's like, how's it robbing like my own personal like vitality and energy so I can be like fully with him and with, you know, whoever I'm with, not holding these little things that are draining my energy. That makes me feel. So what's it do?
I was sharing with Nicole earlier, I thought that it's just crazy how different my answers are from the last time. I had so much self-hate and just guilt and shame, and I don't feel that today. And that's like, I'm just I'm just so happy. These rooms are magical. This is a magical place, and I've so much growth has happened in my life. The resentments that I had down on my paper last go around, I felt like I just threw them on there to like have answers, to be prepared with my homework and share. You know, it's like I was making shit up in my head. You know, not to say that there weren't little truths to each one. Yeah, that bothered me in the past, but it's not a part of, you know, focusing on the things that give me energy and not letting the other shit slip in my head. So I'm being taken away from being present with my significant other and my family and myself, just, you know. So literally, like, who do I resent? It's blank. So I'm like, why would I? There's probably some shit if I could deep enough that I could put on paper. And that's like, why would I don't have the energy to do that right now because I'm in such a good place, you know? So I let them answer blank, and I'm a teacher too, and like not doing my homework is like, it's blank, and I feel really good about it.
And I think it's kind of amazing that you look at blank. But also, like, who do you resent? You know, there's that thing, like, I don't want to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if I focus on that, then I'm not going to worry about it.
For sure.
But there's still somebody you resent, you know? So there's still that.
There's definitely still that. And it's my oldest sister. Mm-hmm. She just it's been a really hard last 5-6 years on my mom for choices that she's made. Me being a people pleaser and a harmonizer. I'm like, my mom is so sad. I'm breaking her heart. You asshole. Like, but then she's healed and great and just coming back into family functions. And there's been no apology and no acknowledgement for the pain that she's caused her family. And so it's hard to see my mom also, great, she's back. Everybody walk on eggshells and life is good. We're all happy smileys, but not really, you know. So that's gonna work.
That's gonna work.
We're not pushing you.
No.
It was just your job to listen.
Yeah, but it's you know, I just like gave that answer out, and I'm not holding it hostage anymore. It's out there. And I can heal. Like I do feel healing's coming, and maybe sit down with her. But that'll happen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Same thing, like if you left it blank or something, just give yourself some time to like go back on these questions. You don't have to like, okay, now week 2 is completely done. Let's move on to week 3. Like just be aware, and if something comes up, like share with your small group or talk to one of us if there's something, yeah, that really came up for me. Because I feel like that's how we all grow, is like a sharing and like putting it out there. Talk about it. But let's move on to week 3. So forget week 2. On to week 3. Mark's gonna catch us up on what this 3 is all about.
Yeah, and I will say, I'll say that I'll parking lot that. Week 3 is equanimity, which I love so much because, I mean, for me, this practice has brought that even move forward. Meeting equanimity, meeting life where it meets you, like without reacting and being able to stay calm regardless of what
shit shows swirling around you. And so the practice is 45 minutes this week. And Barron talks in the book about that moment, and we all have it when we want to come out of a pose in our physical practice. I know for me, I do it, and sometimes I notice, and sometimes I have an excuse for it, and then, to make it right. And so it's just like noticing in your practice that moment when you want to come out. He says is the moment you come face to face with your psychology. When you hit a threshold, and we all have thresholds, it's an opportunity to see yourself clearly and ask the winds of grace to carry you. And it's kind of like that moment. And, like noticing on my mat when I want to run, like that's also happening in my life. Like that moment when I just, it's a little uncomfortable, gotta go. It's just something to notice this week. 45 minutes, and learning to relax in the middle of all of that. 15-minute meditation twice a day. Dan, yeah. And like Lauren said, breaking it up if you need to. The wings of grace, let them carry you. And I love what Jess said, like celebrating waking up. And that is something that's really helped me because I'm not one to just sit still. And I thought I was doing it wrong. So celebrate, like you just woke up. You got woke. Maybe AF. Yeah.
We've seen those meditations, use a guide. That's really helps other than just like sitting.
100%.
It really helps.
Yeah.
So we'll send that.
And still, I'll be in a guided meditation and I'll go off somewhere. Yeah. So just, a lot of grace. And the diet portion, what you're putting in your body, like keep putting fresh stuff in and noticing like what you see, what you start to crave. And I think underline this too. This week you'll learn why fighting your cravings only leads to more struggle and how to move through them from a stronger, less reactive space. Yeah. Because I know for me, food has been a thing, and I think it is for everyone at some point in our life. But I heard someone say for every deprivation, there's a binge. And that's something that's really stuck with me. So it's like, if you're craving something, rather than fight it, like just see how that feels for you. And that's that. Yeah.
Excellent for that.
Yeah.
Whenever I've changed my diet a lot recently, and when I looked at something that I wanted, I just told myself of why I was not going to do it. So like I'm making the choice to change, and so I'm not going to do that, and it helped. So I don't know if that'll help.
Yeah.
On the contrary.
Yes, Sylvie.
So, I found out I was going to have to start this ketogenic thing today's first day. Because I agreed to do it if the dude would come to the 7:30 class tomorrow, so I got to get him signed up.
All right.
But anyway, so I'm doing 90 days. So the last 4 days, I've really been enjoying my pizza and my bread. And last night I had waffle chicken sliders. And I don't have none of that stuff no more. I realized that in the last, this year has been crazy in my life. I mean, 5 years ago, I was 110 pounds on any kind of drug you can think of. 3 years ago, I was 200 pounds and just working a shitty job and life sucked. And this year, I quit smoking December 27th, cold turkey. I smoked a pack and a half cigarettes a day. I started eating better, gym, this. And I realized in the last 4 days, like, oh my God, so much chaos can come in your life just from what you're eating. Because my entire life has just been crazy this week. First 2 days was good, fasted, ate good food. The rest of the week was just, whoa, and miserable and everything. So I'm excited to get back on some clean eating and enjoying life again a little bit better. So yeah, I think food is super important. It's my plan.
Thank you, Ellie. And you're not healthy, and like that is your experience, and food is food. I don't believe food is good or bad, and this week is just about noticing what you're craving, and when you have that, like, how do you feel? That's it. you know? Yeah, and then the excavation questions, you'll answer those. And I love that Courtney shared about leaving that blank. Like I tried to leave the question blank because I had a go-to for so long. And then I didn't have to go to anymore. I was like, I don't know, and then I do, you know? And so it's like when you do this work or you've done counseling or this or that, it's like you have this like go-to thing. So just notice, like you said, when you're throwing something on the paper just to get your homework done. And also, are you doing it? Like, are you holding yourself accountable? Check in with your small groups and like, yeah, you're a part of this and your contribution is important. And yeah, just check in with yourself on that. Any questions about this week? Cool. So let's circle up like we did last week to do acknowledgements and give ups. Yeah, we can all see each other. Yeah, sure. Okay, so just a presence, and we do, what's that, model it? Yeah, so I acknowledge each one of you for showing up when it would have been so easy to skip out. Like I heard some people towing the line of just not coming, so I acknowledge you for making the choice to be here. And I give up resentment and I commit to presence and connection. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, anybody can do that.
I'll go. Okay. I acknowledge Kelly for just, holding us accountable in this space to grow, even if it's difficult and challenging. And I give up
So for the record, you don't have to do both.
Oh, okay.
There's an option. So you can either or both.
No. Okay. I give up overthinking.
Oh.
And I commit to recommitting to not overthinking. It's going to take some practice. So yeah.
So what are you committing to if you're not overthinking?
Like I'm going to commit to being mindful of what I'm overthinking.
Okay.
So maybe like a bigger picture. Like instead of like just like I'm committing to like I don't know. Yeah, so like overthinking and I'm committed to not overthinking. So just more like one more, like I'm committed to
being kind to myself.
or just being kind or mindful and awareness, like
Sure. You're overthinking it.
Right.
So you guys say it all together.
Sure. I'm committing to not overthinking.
Desiree, and then we'll get.
I acknowledge Kelly for giving us handstands today, which was really fun. And I do have a give up. I give up excuses like parties for not meditating before I go to bed. And I commit to recommit to the meditation part of this program.
I acknowledge Kelly for handstands, and I acknowledge Courtney for doing them. She's so strong and powerful, and it's amazing to watch. I give up anger and hate in my heart, and I commit to being kinder.
I give up
to acknowledge Megan, is that right? For her handstands, it was so.
I want to acknowledge Olivia for your share because it was amazing. And my give up is presenting myself, and I commit to showing myself grace. Yeah.
Yeah, I acknowledge everyone's tough and personal stuff. It's really hard, especially for me. So I commit to sharing more and being less, I guess, nervous or self-conscious about it.
So what do you give up?
I give up the, I guess, fear of, opening up, whatever, and commit to sharing instead of holding everything inside, because it helps even say it out loud to no one. It's like, feels better.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
I want to acknowledge Katie. I've seen you at the studio, I think, all week practicing, and it just inspires me to walk in the door, and it goes for all of you guys that see get on your mat here. So it reminds me about why I love this place and this community. So
I give up resentment and commit to seeing the goodness in people.
Kelly presence that you don't actually have to believe what you so
I give up cards.
when you commit to it.
I need this. I commit to being a lot more present this week. It was a little rough last week, so commit to being present this week, and I'm giving up cards. Yeah, the ketogenic.
I give up fear of failing, and I commit to taking action in the belief I will win.
one more burning share. I acknowledge Mern for being a kick-ass friend for the last couple of weeks when I've been in the dumps. So we didn't plan that. All right.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Good work, you guys. Thank you guys. I will send an email out tomorrow. Are y'all all, is anybody not getting their feedback? All right. What's that? It actually was really good.
Bye.